This is the new Volkswagen Tiguan TAOS, and in this video I'm going to show you why this car makes me not want to work as a car designer. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's TheSketchMonkey here. Now Volkswagen has released the TAOS, and this is an expansion of the never-ending lineup of crossovers, and the design is, shall we say, conservative. I wasn't planning on really making a video on this car simply because it's not really that exciting of a car, but I get a lot of requests from you guys, and of course I'm happy to make a video on it. And in this video I'm going to show you a little bit of a design experiment and what's going on currently with the Volkswagen, specifically the SUV design, and also let you know exactly why the TAOS is the reason I don't want to work as a car designer. So the Volkswagen TAOS here, this job feels like it was given probably to a design intern or a freshly graduate from an automotive program, and the brief was simple. It was to take the Tiguan, and here's what I want you to do with it. I want you to shrink it down by 9 inches, and that's it. However, it does get the new horizontal LED lighting strip across its grille on the range-topping SEL trim. And it also gets rugged, stylish black plastic cladding on every trim. More so than the larger twin, the Tiguan. And this shows to me that the TAOS was designed specifically for the North American market, where it seems as if the more black plastic you have on the lower parts of the car, the more sales you're going to get. And this is similar to the Subaru Crosstrek and the Toyota RAV4 Adventure. So Volkswagen, I get it. They want to get in on this trend and of course make a lot more sales. So before we jump into the design part, let's talk a little bit about the spec and tech here. It's not much to cover because it's not really an exciting car. A 6.7-inch touchscreen is standard on the base TAOS S, and the SC and SEL trim gets an 8-inch screen in the center, and all trim levels of the TAOS get a fully digital instrument panel of a standard 8 inches on the base model and 10.25 inches on the range-topping SEL. The power comes from a rather uninspired and large version of the 1.4-liter 4-cylinder turbo that you have in the Jet, although here it's enlarged to 1.5-liter, putting out 158 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. And the car is front-wheel drive as standard, although you can have it as a 4-motion all-wheel drive system and a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic should you feel the need to let loose every now and then. And that's the short spec and tech segment, but who cares about that? Let's jump into Photoshop and let's talk design. And in the end of this video, I'm also going to show you something really cool from Volkswagen actually. More specifically, how the Golf literally redesigned and fixed its own face. Alright, so here we are in Photoshop once again, and I want to show you this kind of experiment of what's really going on with Volkswagen's design, especially when it comes to SUVs. But it's not only Volkswagen. This is kind of a global problem that I see in car design right now, and this is exactly why I would not want to work as a car designer and work on one of these models for 5 years when they look so similar to each other. So here we have the side view. On top we have the TAOS, in middle we have the Tiguan, at the bottom we have the big brother, the Atlas. So what I want to do now is just have a look at the lines here and just look at how similar these are, specifically the lines between the TAOS up here and the Tiguan down here. We have very similar shoulder lines right here, for example, this line right here that goes here. The rear light changed a little bit. You have the inverted angle of this, so we have this angle here and this angle on the Tiguan. Details like that is what you do as a designer in Volkswagen right now. Imagine this, you get the brief, you're gonna work on a new small crossover and it's gonna sell like crazy in the US and Canada and North America, and the design brief is to make it look as much as the Tiguan as possible. The creativity for you as a designer is to come up with a solution to make it look like the Tiguan but just shrink it down by 9 inches. How exciting would that be to work on for 3, 4, or even 5 years as a project? To me, it just wouldn't be as creative as I was hoping car design would be. And another story I want to tell you, I've told this story before, but when I was studying car design, my master's degree in Italy, we had the sponsors of that program was Lamborghini, Audi, and Volkswagen. So we did projects with all these 3 companies, and the designers from the companies came to the school and went through and coached us through those programs. And when it comes to Volkswagen and Audi, the designers from the companies, they came with a booklet about this thick to the school and said that these are the rules and these are the standards that you need to follow when you design an Audi and a Lamborghini. So an Audi and a Volkswagen, sorry. When I heard that, that kind of changed the entire perspective for me of what you do as a car designer in a big established brand like Volkswagen here. And this goes also, of course, for other brands in similar size to Volkswagen. And the thing is, if I were, I've said this before too, if I were to work as a designer now, I would want to go to some new company, some fresh, young company that doesn't really have their identity hammered in stone, and where you have the opportunity to influence the car design and the direction of where that brand is going to go visually. So that's why I wasn't excited to work as a car designer right after college. I thought, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to spend 5 years working on a taillight like this? And of course, nothing wrong if that's really what you want to do. But for me, I was looking for more creativity. I was looking for more ways to explore new ideas. And that just wasn't possible with these car brands that are in the same size as Volkswagen. So let's have an experiment here, and let's just desaturate this right here, this whole thing. And now you can even see more how similar these are in design. And I want to do this, show you this from the rear as well. So here we have, of course, TAOS at the top. We have the Tiguan in the middle, which I changed the wheel size on this Tiguan specifically to have it match the other two models here, because it had like 15-inch wheels on there and it didn't look good. Anyway, the Tiguan is in the model and the Atlas is in the bottom. And here we have the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing here and just desaturate this. And you can see for yourself how similar these cars are. One interesting detail here, now that I look at it, is the Tiguan, which is the more family-friendly of these three cars. Both the TAOS and the Atlas are supposed to be more rugged, more off-roady, and you can see that in a detail that kind of stands out in the Tiguan, and that is the rounded wheelhouses. So the Tiguan is the only one here that has these rounded wheelhouses compared to the other two, which has more squared off, which indicates a more rugged feel of design when it comes to these two models on top and bottom, compared to the family-friendly, mass-selling Tiguan, which they, I guess, want to bring back and dial down the off-roadness of it and have it be more of a road-friendly appearance. Last but not least, the face of the car. So here we have them in color. Gonna do the same thing here and desaturate this, and then look at the identity of Volkswagen and just how strong it is right now. And strong meaning it's good for brand identity, but as designers, what really do we have to play with when we come up with a new design here? Not a lot. The grille looks exactly the same on all these models. The headlights pretty much the same as well. The air intakes as well. We have this mustache here, which I'm gonna come back to in a minute here with the Golf, where they did an amazing job with the new Club Sport GTI, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But you can see that there are very similar designs, and not only in the front face, it's all around the car. The shoulder line here, you have the same similar style here, except for the Atlas, which has more of a rugged one like this. And then, of course, the greenhouse itself, it's almost a copy-paste, only shrink or enlarge depending on what size of SUV you're designing. So the reason I'm telling you this is not to make fun of Volkswagen or talk down on Volkswagen. I get that this is what the market wants, and car companies today, they have to produce cars that will sell. They can't just go crazy and make awesome stuff that a minority or a small group of people would love Volkswagen to do, because developing a car from scratch like this costs, of course, a lot of money. So they got to make sure that they have a clear target audience that is big enough for the model to make profit and make sense in developing from scratch. So I get why they do this and why other companies do this as well, but at the same time, this gives a lot of opportunity for new companies to come in and create more innovative designs and bring a lot of new ideas to the table as well. Now, I want to end this video on a high note, and this is the Volkswagen GTI Club Sport 2021 model. And I think This is a very good example of a car that kind of redesigns and fixes itself, specifically the Golf GTI, the standard one. I'm not a fan of the mustache looking thing down here that they have on the regular one, but this just looks amazing to me. This is a proper GTI front end, aggressive without too much styling in the front. You do have these white fenders or wings that go into the grille like this, but it looks good. It's not too much. It's kind of even less styling than the regular GTI, and I think this looks so much better than the regular GTI in front and the rear as well. It's a very tight, very chiseled design, very Volkswagen, where every line needs to have a purpose, whether it be a functional purpose or a styling purpose. But every line on a Volkswagen, this is another thing that we learned in school, was that if you design a Volkswagen, every single line needs to have a purpose of some sort, styling wise or functionality, doesn't matter, but as long as it has a purpose. And I think that shows throughout the lineup of Volkswagen. They have a very strict, very chiseled and very clean looking design, and the Golf here I think is one of the best looking Golfs of the last few generations. Let me know what you think about the new TAOS. Do you like it, dislike it? Is it too much like the Tiguan, or is it just right? Let me know in the comments below. I'm the TheSketchMonkey. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.